Good evening. I'm Karakosta, a research associate at the NTUA, and I'm going to present you a research entitled Impact of Energy Efficiency Measures in the Greek Building Sector, which was conducted at the Decision Support Systems Laboratory of the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering at the National Technical University of Athens. This is a teamwork of Karakosta, Ekaterini Papapostolou, Philippos Dimitrios Mexis, Koutsandreas D, and John Psarras. This presentation is structured along 5 sections. First, some background points of the problem addressed in this research is discussed, followed by the scope of the paper. The materials and methods used are then analyzed, while the visual representation of the results of the study follow. Finally, the presentation ends with the key highlights and conclusions of the study. The building sector is considered of significant importance at the European level, as it is responsible for 40% of energy consumption and 36% of greenhouse gas emissions. More than 80% of existing buildings' energy efficiency potential remains untapped compared to the other sectors. In this respect, nowadays, more than ever, boosting the implementation of energy efficiency measures in buildings and subsequently mainstreaming energy efficiency financing is of paramount importance for the European Union towards achieving its goals of carbon neutrality by 2050. Unfortunately, statistics have shown that a lot of effort is needed to achieve the European targets. Investments should be realized and energy efficiency measures are considered necessary to update building stock and manufacturing processes. Energy efficiency is not yet considered as an attractive investment by the financial sector. The lack of expertise and knowledge, as well as the different perspective of project developers and financing institutions, are some indicative challenges that have to be overcome already from the first stages of investment generation and conceptualization. In order to fill this gap, stakeholder engagement is considered important to get an alternative perspective and perhaps shift the focus from related activities to intended results. The aim of this study is to analyze the energy efficiency situation in the Greek building stock by utilizing a consultation approach based on a dedicated online survey involving high relevant stakeholders so as to gather their input and depict all the results through a statistical analysis. The analysis focused on identifying links between the energy efficiency performance of buildings and their value in the real estate market through illustrating Greek stakeholders' behavior. The main challenge that emerged is to ensure that the necessary consultation with the financial institutional bodies, investors, market actors, and energy efficiency and real estate professionals. To effectively engage key actors, an efficient stakeholder engagement process has taken place based on a dedicated methodology realized within the framework of the European Union Horizon 2020 project AAA. AAA tries to identify which investments can be considered as AAA investment, fostering sustainable growth while also having an extremely strong capacity to meet their commitments already from the first stages of investment generation, pre-selection, pre-evaluation. The required knowledge for the project is provided by several stakeholder groups that are active along the entire energy efficiency investment value chain. The key stakeholders that participate in the entire energy efficiency value chain are the ones that may provide the required knowledge to achieve the energy efficiency objectives in the building sector. The scope is to identify all the relevant stakeholder groups, organizations, experts of the building sector energy efficiency financing, and compile a list in view of a balanced professional, institutional, and geographical representation of stakeholders. The target groups identified consist of financing bodies, companies and project developers, policymakers and policy support institutes, researchers and academia in business and techno-economic fields, as well as other stakeholders such as technology suppliers, property valuers, real estate agents, and associations. To ensure the effectiveness of energy efficiency financing in the building sector, it is important not only to identify all the relevant target groups, but also to understand what type of effort and messages should be used for reaching out each one of them. In that regard, well-defined consultation activities are proposed, including specific and concrete actions in order to ensure the active participation of the identified stakeholders. The proposed activities are bilateral meetings, capacity building webinars, regional training workshops, standardized tools and benchmarks, policy recommendation, as well as their dissemination activities. For the purpose of the particular study, a participatory approach based on a dedicated online survey was implemented. The survey gathered the target stakeholders' point of view on several aspects, such as the current building stock situation in Greece, the behavior towards energy efficiency upgrades in buildings, the correlation between energy efficiency upgrades and the value of the property, the risks that could affect the implementation of such measures, and the contribution of the project's risk assessment and benchmarking tools to the real estate sector. The questionnaire was disseminated through invitations to stakeholders in an online format, and 77 replies were gathered. An analysis and a graphic visualization of the data and information collected by the survey was conducted, providing useful insights on the building situation in Greece. When stakeholders were asked about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the real estate and building construction sector, more than 50% of the respondents imposed a remarkable impact. With regards to the increase of property values that energy efficiency measures provoke, envelope retrofits constitute the highest correlated energy efficiency upgrade to the increase of property value, followed by lighting appliances retrofits. On the contrary, measures related to district energy networks have the lowest correlation to the asset price, most probably due to the low popularity of such infrastructures in Greece. As a response to the provision of a rule of thumb of the correlation between energy efficiency upgrades and property value, stakeholders' opinions regarding the increase in asset selling price and rent values were collected. For the case of property selling, 50% of the responders replied that the price increase may reach the level of 10 to 15%. Regarding the case of property rent, around 30% indicated a reduced increase of 5% in rent price that may be observed, while more than 20% of the answers pointed out a greater increase. Concerning the main risk that could affect the successful implementation of energy efficiency projects, the financial risk was recorded as the most critical, followed by the energy market and regulatory risk. The absence of property education, technical expertise and adequate certification constitute the most important risk factors under the classification of technological planning and operational risk category. To sum up, key highlights that have been arisen from the analysis of energy efficiency measures impact in the building sector is that buildings' energy efficiency profile is considered an asset for long-term capital investments. With regards to factors that hinder building owners to implement energy efficiency measures is the lack of capital and the high cost compose the major ones. In addition, energy efficiency upgrades may result in price increase in case of selling and renting property, while building envelope retrofits is the main action that may increase the value of the property. Finally, according to the majority of the respondents, dedicated benchmarking tools and evaluate energy efficiency projects could provide valuable services in the real estate sector as well. Thank you very much for your attention.